This is
The Hoplite Army.
I had to do it.
Yeah, sorry for that intro, but I read somewhere that it's illegal to make a video about the Greek Hoplite army without any reference to the 300, so here you go. So this video is the first in a series I'm planning about various armies around the world and throughout time. It's not the first army in history, but is the one I'm starting with, so I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, subscribe to my channel.
Get on with it!
Battles between the Greek city-states were once fought by mostly farmers. However, around the 7th century BC, with the evolution of military equipment and organization, a new type of army emerged. Meet the Hoplite army, heavily armored foot soldiers who fought in tightly packed formations called the phalanx. This formation apparently evolved from the looser types of mass formations depicted in the Iliad. In the phalanx, soldiers lined up shoulder to shoulder, with each rank almost stepping on the heels of the soldier in front of him. Battle tactics were quite simple. Opposing phalanx formed up, closed in, and tried to break the other phalanx by chuffing until one side disintegrated. But this also means that hoplite battles were a very vicious affair. When opposing fronts collided, the rank behind shoved against those in front, using the weight to break the enemy's ranks. This even had its own name, the osmios, or in English, the pushing, almost like in rugby or American football. A reverse tug-of-war, so to speak. Although the fighting was savage, hoplite battles were usually brief, seldom lasting more than an hour.
That long?
And casualties were relatively light. Both the losers and the victors seldom lost over 15%. Once the enemy broke and fled, there was no pursuit, so that massacres were rare. A hoplite was armed with a long heavy spear for thrusting and jabbing, a short sword for close combat, and for protection they wore a helmet, breastplate and greaves, all made of bronze and covering as much of their body as possible. But the most important piece of equipment was the shield, the hoplon. It was so important that they got named after it. It was quite different from the shields carried by warriors who fought before the hoplites. It was round, made out of wood, covered with a thin sheet of bronze. It was held by inserting the left arm through a central band and gripping a strap at the rim, which gave the hoplite mobility and protection all in one.
Yeah,
That's nice.
that's nice. That is nice.
When seen from the front, the phalanx presented a nearly solid wall of shields, helmeted heads and spears. It must have been a very opposing sight to see. But not all citizens fought in the phalanx, however. Because hoplites had to furnish their own weapons and armor, which were quite expensive, the poorest men were excluded and had to serve instead as light armored troops. The proportion of non-hoplites varied from polis to polis, but were usually around 20 or 30%. Although there were disparities in wealth and social status separating phalanx fighters from the light armored skirmishers, there were no such distinctions within the phalanx itself. In the ranks there were high-born nobles fighting alongside with the middle of society. So you could think that the Greeks of the 7th century BC were quite egalitarian, but then think again, they had slaves. I mean, the slaves are the reason that those who were better off were so well prepared for war. This type of army and style of fighting fed also well against other types of armies, mainly against the Persians. But after the Peloponnesian War and the introduction of new types of fighting by the Macedonians, this type of fighting became obsolete. So there you have it, a very short introduction to the Hoplite army. I hope you enjoyed it. The next army will be the Persian army, and I hope you liked it. I hope you subscribe, and see you next time. Bye!